Every form of energy your body produces without you noticing. You are sitting still right now, maybe lying down, maybe convinced that you are doing absolutely nothing. And yet, at this exact moment, your body is radiating heat into the surrounding air, emitting infrared light invisible to the naked eye, generating electrical fields strong enough to be detected from several feet away, in producing sound waves that travel through every organ in your torso. You are not resting, you are operating. You have never stopped operating, not once, not for a single second, since the moment you were born. The human body is not a passive container for a personality. It is a continuous, multispectrum energy broadcasting system that runs 24 hours a day without requiring your attention, your permission, or your awareness. I mapped out every major form of energy your body produces without you noticing. Some of these you learned the name of in school and immediately forgot. Others were never mentioned at all. All of them are happening to you right now as you watch this. Let us get into it. Thermal energy. You are a walking furnace. Let us start with the most obvious one that somehow still surprises people when you explain the actual numbers. Your body maintains a core temperature of approximately 37 degrees Celsius 986 Fahrenheit. That is not an accident, and it is not free. Sustaining that temperature against a cooler environment requires continuous energy expenditure, and the source of that energy is the food you eat, converted through cellular respiration into a molecule called ATP, which is essentially the body's universal energy currency. It is the part that reframes everything. The human body is extraordinarily inefficient as an energy converter. Roughly 60% of the energy released during cellular metabolism is lost as heat before it ever gets used for anything mechanical, before it moves a muscle, pumps blood, or fires a neuron. That heat radiates outward from your skin surface continuously. At rest, the average adult produces between 80 and 100 watts of thermal energy. That is enough to keep a standard incandescent light bulb running. During intense physical activity, that number climbs to anywhere between 500 watts, comparable to a small electric space heater. This is why densely packed spaces feel suffocating even without external heat sources. A room with 200 people in it contains the thermal equivalent of 200 light bulbs, all running simultaneously, with no off switch. Large venues, concert halls, subway stations, shopping centers have been studied as potential passive heating systems, capturing body heat from occupants and redistributing it through the building's ventilation. Stockholm's central train station, which processes hundreds of thousands of commuters daily, has used the residual body heat from its passenger flow to supplement heating in a nearby office building since 2008. You are not just warm, you are infrastructurally useful. Output rating, continuous, involuntary, insignificant. You have been paying a heating bill with your metabolism every day of your life. 2. Infrared radiation. You are constantly emitting light. This one requires a small conceptual adjustment, because when most people hear the word light, they picture something visible. What your body emits is not visible, but it is absolutely light, in the precise physical definition of the term. All objects above absolute zero emit electromagnetic radiation. The specific wavelength of that radiation depends on the object's temperature. The human body, at 37 degrees Celsius, emits radiation in the infrared spectrum wavelengths between roughly 8 and 14 micrometers. Your eyes cannot detect this. Infrared cameras can. Every thermal imaging camera ever built, military, medical, industrial, or the ones attached to drones, operates entirely on this principle. It is not detecting body heat in some vague metaphorical sense. It is literally photographing the light your body emits. The emission is not uniform. Different surfaces of your body radiate at slightly different intensities. The face, particularly around the eyes and forehead, tends to emit more intensely than the extremities. This variation is medically significant. Infrared thermography is used to detect early signs of inflammation, circulatory issues, in certain types of tumors, because abnormal tissue temperature produces detectably different infrared signatures. You have been broadcasting a unique light signature in all directions, continuously, since birth. It changes when you are sick. It changes when you are stressed. It changes with age. It is, in a very literal sense, a continuous physiological autobiography written in wavelengths no one around you can read without the right equipment. Output rating, continuous, constant, invisible, impersonally unique. You are a light source that has never once been switched off. 3. Electrical fields. You are generating electricity right now. The heart is a pump. Most people know this. What fewer people consciously register is that a pump of that sophistication requires a precisely timed electrical control system, and that system generates fields detectable well outside the body. Every heartbeat is initiated by an electrical signal that originates in a cluster of cells in the right atrium called the sinoatrial node. That signal propagates through the cardiac muscle in a specific sequence, triggering coordinated contraction. The electrical activity associated with this process is strong enough to be measured on the surface of the skin, which is the entire principle behind the electrocardiogram or electrocardiograma. But the field does not stop at the skin. The electrical activity of the heart generates a detectable electromagnetic field that extends approximately 15 meters in every direction from the body, roughly arm's length on all sides. This has been measured using highly sensitive magnetometers in laboratory conditions. The brain as its own layer. Neural activity. The firing of billions of neurons across the cerebral cortex generates electrical oscillations measurable as brainwaves, ranging from slow delta waves during deep sleep to fast gamma waves during focused cognitive processing. The magnetic fields produced by this neural activity, while far weaker than the heart's, are real immeasurable using equipment called magnetoencephalography, a MAG. Your nervous system also runs a continuous low-voltage current through the body's connective tissue, a phenomenon called the DC electrical system, which appears to play a role in wound healing and cellular repair, though the full mechanisms are still being mapped. You are not just producing electricity incidentally. Electricity is one of your primary operating languages. Output rating, constant, multi-source, and extending beyond the physical boundary of your body. Your electrical presence reaches further than you do. 4. Sound. Your body is louder than you think. Sit in a completely silent room. You will eventually begin to hear things. Your pulse, a faint rushing in your ears, the occasional gurgle from your digestive system. These are not malfunctions. They are the ambient soundtrack of a body in normal operation, and they represent genuine acoustic energy propagating through tissue, bone, and air. The heart produces sound. The characteristic sounds physicians listen for with a stethoscope. The familiar lubitap are caused by the mechanical closure of cardiac valves during each cycle. Abnormalities in heart valve function produce distinct acoustic signatures, which is why cardiac auscultation remains a diagnostic tool after more than 2 centuries of use. The lungs produce sound. Airflow through bronchial passages generates turbulence detectable as breath sounds. In different pathological states, fluid accumulation, obstruction, inflammation alter those sounds in clinically specific ways. The digestive system is its own acoustic event entirely. The rumbling and gurgling you occasionally notice, formerly called borborygmi, which is one of the more satisfying words in medical terminology, are produced by peristalsis, the muscular contractions that move food and gas through the intestinal tract. These sounds are continuous whether you notice them or not. Under the right acoustic conditions, they are audible from across a quiet room. Bone conduction as another layer. Sound travels through your skeletal structure, which is one reason your voice sounds different in recordings than in your own head. You hear yourself partly through air and partly through bone resonance. Bone conduction headphones exploit this exact phenomenon. Your